Hello, welcome back to a snapshot review early in the year. This is for 1.20.2, not for 1.21, and I'm mostly just going to go over all the villager stuff because that's the main focus, but there's one or two things that I'll hit on at the very end. All the villager changes are in the experimental tab of the newest snapshot, so it's not gonna just change if you go to the newest snapshot. You're gonna have to go into the experiments tab and then change it there. Mojang does also want feedback, so I'll put that link as well as the snapshot review link in the description if you want to look at those. Don't mind all the slimes disappearing behind me. They were getting annoying, so I just set up a chain command block to kill them all. But um, villagers are getting entirely revamped, which is maybe good, maybe bad. Good in some ways, but maybe not so good in others. So each profession is going to have only a certain amount of, like, a certain specified books that it can have, and each sign, or each villager has a sign over it saying which ones it is. So we'll just start over here with the desert villager here. Hello. So the ones that you can get from the desert villager are fire protection, thorns, infinity, and the special is efficiency 3. Now the thing to note is that all of the first ones can be any level of it. And then this last one will always be whatever it says here. So it'll be efficiency 3 here forever. Oh my goodness. Oh no, my inventory's screwed up. Hang on, let me change that. Basically, I need to trade with this guy. But basically, you can have up to like 4 books, I think, per guy. Let me actually get some trade emeralds here so I can trade with you. And so the first book that we got was Fire Protection 2. And again, that one can change. It could be Fire Protection 1 or Fire Protection 4 or 2 or 3, just any level that is available as a book. And just to kind of reiterate the points here, so there's infinity here as one of the book trades, and then finally there's efficiency 3, which means you're going to have to combine it in an anvil multiple times if you want to get efficiency 5, which then jacks up the experience cost quite a lot, and so on and so forth. So that's basically the idea with this villager, and then with all the other ones, it's the same thing, just with different trades. So, for example, the jungle is going to have feather falling, projectile protection, power, any levels of those that you can get with a book, and then the special one is Unbreaking 2, which again you're gonna have to combine with another Unbreaking in an anvil, etc., etc. Plains has Punch, Smite, Bane of Arthropods, and Protection 3. The Savannah has Knockback, Binding Curse, or the Curse of Binding, Sweeping Edge, and Sharpness 3. Then the Winter, the Snowy guy, has Aqua Affinity, Looting, Frostwalker, and Silk Touch. And this guy here has Aqua Affinity just by chance, but it could be any of these, so it could be like Frostwalker 2. I think Frostwalker 2 exists as a book, but you could have Frostwalker 2 here, you could have Looting 1 here, like any of these 3 enchantments could be in any order here, and you could have like Aqua Affinity 3 times or something like that. And then the swamp is going to be the other very important one, as well as the jungle, at least for a lot of people, because it's got the mending as the special, but then it also has Depth Strider, Respiration, and the Curse of Vanishing. Here, see, Curse of Vanishing, that's the third one on the list, but again, it doesn't matter where it is on the list, except if it's the special. The special is always going to be the last book. And then finally, with the just regular Taiga variants, there's Blast Protection, Fire Aspects, Flame, and Fortune 2. Great. So, I just explained all of that very quickly. But what's the point in all of that? What is my thoughts, basically? Well, I think it's actually a good idea to do it this way, because before just trying to find, like, for example, trying to find mending, it just takes forever sometimes, because you're looking for one, but then you get other decent enchantments, but you also are trying to save your emeralds for mending, and so finding it is annoying. But then you also have to go to the swamp and breed a swamp villager, like breed villagers in the swamp, and then bring it back to your base, unless you're living in a swamp, which that's your decision. That's not mine. I'm not judging at all. But you'd have to bring the villager from the swamp all the way back to your base if you want mending easily accessible. So I think there's advantages and disadvantages. Granted, it gets you to explore, but at the same time, getting there and back with the villager might be a little bit annoying. And also, the two really good ones, our little mending friend here and our unbreaking friend over here, are villageless. They don't have villages that spawn in their biomes, which, Mojang, if you do implement this, at least add villages for each of these variants. That way, it makes it slightly easier. That way you can just find the village and then bring it back, rather than just breeding and then bringing it back. So it just takes less resources to build the villages in the game. So I think it's actually a decent idea. But I also think that just limiting what books here you get is maybe a little extreme. In my opinion, I think for most of these lesser enchantments, as I'm going to call them, because they're not the special ones, uh, I would think that having those for all villagers would be just fine. Just having, like, being able to find the curse of binding with, like, the jungle villager, for example. Like, I think that would be fine. And just having only specific special ones, kind of like the unbreaking for the jungle, the protection for the plains villager, etc., etc. So that's kind of my view on that. And then the other thing is actually related to zombie villagers and curing them and everything related to that. So, before you could actually do it over and over and over again until you got 1 emerald for anything. Like one of the right-hand column for however many it was on the other column. Mojang wants to change this where it's only 1, and they actually made it a bug, or at least it's like they're calling it a bug or something. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so I'm just gonna demonstrate my point to this guy. Before he had like 30-something emeralds for, I believe, the efficiency 3. So I'm going to cure him with the typical weakness and golden apple strategy that's just been in the game for forever, really. So I'm just gonna cure him, and then we'll take a look at his traits. And I'll show you that the traits will not go down after curing him a second time. Oh, finally, he took forever to be cured. But, so, before his expensive trade was like 30 emeralds, now if I take a look at it, oh, it's 1. It was 25. Okay, close enough. But it's 1. This one's actually only 14, so it didn't drop nearly as much as this other one here did. But it's cheaper. Now, if I were to do the same thing again, um, this time I might actually figure out the command to speed up the process, but let's just place a zombie in here, let him convert the villager, and then we're going to convert you and kill the other one. Okay, so this last one was like 14 emeralds, right? No, it's still 14. So basically the changes, they don't continuously drop their prices. You cure them once and then they're permanently cured. So I I think that is just fine. I think that is just fine with me with how that works. It makes sense. I didn't realize that it was a glitch though, but you know, whatever. But there's that. Now, the Wandering Trader also has some interesting changes, so let me grab one real fast. So I'm just gonna spawn one in, and you'll see there's actually something different. Uh, he will actually buy something from you, and there's also wood here as well. So there's multiple new traits. Basically, at the very top, you can sell certain things to him to get some emeralds, so like hay bales. I believe it's only one though. Let me grab one. Okay, so I want to get I want to get an emerald from a hay bale, and only one. Which, I mean, I understand why they did that. They could also just make the hay bale, like you could make it more hay bales. That way, we could just keep trading a few times. And then if I were to grab fermented spider, I think that's also one, or that one might be just like a couple more. Uh, but you can buy a bunch of logs. You can buy a bunch of ice and other. You can just buy a bunch of stuff, and some of the prices were slightly affected. Um, Here's a couple more sell things: a water bottle, baked potato, uh, hay bale, baked potato. I believe you can actually buy an invis potion, or it will take, or he will buy the invis. Oh, this guy right here. You can buy one right there. Hello. And then of course with the wood, it's any wood. So uh, one of the other guys was oak. This one has cherry. Just happens to be cherry this time. So it's random for the wood. So there's just a few new trades that he has. But in just the regular snapshot, without the experiments, the diamond ore level, or like the amount of diamond ore that you find in the deep slate, is actually increased to reward you a little bit more for mining in the deep slate level and layers and that kind of thing. That's really the more important thing, other than the villagers. The villagers were basically the highlight of this snapshot. But basically, these villagers might be getting changes, but they might not be, depending on what you all think of it. So be sure to head down in the link in the description, leave them some feedback, maybe tell me some of the ideas you have for it, and also, of course, give that feedback to Mojang too, because Mojang wants to know what everyone thinks about this. And I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Bye!